Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another Tuesday show of the Sour Graps variety, talking about NXT of the Shawn Michaels variety.
That's the closest you've ever been to saying the thing that it actually is, which is, of course, your NXT Sourgraphs post show for January 21st. Guys, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats at humperchats.com. Please leave a thumbs up on this video. It helps people find us. If they're like, where can I find an NXT review that has weird people singing at me? You can find us easier if people leave a thumbs up. They're like, these other people talk about NXT and they seem normal, but where can I find people that do impressions? Help people find us by leaving a thumbs up. I made Alex laugh backstage and on screen more than I think I ever have cumulatively. I do want to thank you guys. I, for months, have been talking at you guys about the Fightful Awards, and we had an incredible amount of support, both from sponsors and viewers and people saying nice things and talent sending in videos, including our own Fraxium. Whoa.
I'm back in focus now.
There you are. You were a blurry boy, which is so appropriate.
I was. Yeah.
So I just wanted to thank you guys for that. That was such a fun and special thing. It's the most involved I've ever been in it as well, helping with sponsorships and the production. So just thank you so much. And we will remind you also to subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. If you were like, is Corey Graves, what's going on with that fella? What's up with him? Because we heard things last week and now we're hearing things this week and those things are different. And as the Graves turns has been a trajectory. Well, Corey Brennan had it all for you on FightfulSelect.com that he would be returning to the desk today. Some other scoop skis of the Grace variety. The Jordan one. Also up there earlier today. So check out FightfulSelect.com as she really breezed through the end of her TNA run quite beautifully. Lots of hugs for pretty much everyone in the back. But it seems like she is headed over here. I would not put her in NXT for a single day, but that's just me. Alex. NXT today. Oba Femi's the champion.
Yeah.
Before we dive into the show, I did just want to say, it's been a while since I was that uncomfortable listening to a commentary desk. I felt like Corey Graves and Vic Joseph were trying to announce around Booker T so much. Like it felt weird to listen to. Like it felt like
I felt like in the unproduced 3 Men and a Baby third sequel, where the little lady from 3 Men and a Baby 2 is sitting there listening to her three dads yell at each other passive aggressively while she just tries to watch TV. That is what I felt like. Why are my three dads yelling at each other so passive aggressively?
Man,
what one guy's screaming about nonsense just so the third guy can't even get a word in edgewise. And he's giving that dude a silent treatment. And there's a dude in the middle. Steve Gutenberg's over here just trying to play peacemaker between Ted Danson and Tom Selleck. And I'm over here, little Curly Sue, just trying to watch cartoons. And these boys are going nuts.
I was not expecting a Curly Sue reference in the first 5 minutes of the show. That's going to get us demonetized instead of cursing. They're going to be like, what? No, we can't let these people make money off of a 3 Men and a Baby reference. Mm-hmm. I will say, like, I thought Corey outperformed Booker T tonight. Like, I feel like he knew the product better than Booker T.
I mean, low bar to clear, but still.
It is, but
flying colors, did he clear it?
Yeah, and not everybody that comes back to the NXT announced desk, like Wade Barrett's always super prepared, but like we see people flip desks all the time and not be up to speed. So for someone who had a tumultuous week, I appreciate that he showed up and tried to be a professional, I guess is what I'm getting at. Because it was like not very clear that he was going to be on the desk as of last week. So
it was very funny how he was so, informed. And Vic was like, I didn't even, it's like, wow, I didn't know you knew anything about this person. Like, I watched the product. And I would have like, Unlike your usual co-host, who doesn't, even though it's in front of him.
Like, couldn't be nudging him any harder. See what I get?
If I were elbowing you any harder in the ribs, they'd all be broken.
They'd be broken. It would be a backstage attack. There'd be a whodunit angle. It would be a whole thing. But it was just very weird. Like, credit to Vic Joseph, too, for, like, doing the best he could to stay on track. But it was like, we talked about this on Select. Like, Corey Graves participates more often than a lot of color guys. And Booker T is just, like, constant.
He's a steamroller.
He's a steamroller.
He just keeps going over anything in his path.
Yeah.
Which is really, really upsetting because I do think Vic Joseph is the most talented color man they have in their employ.
He's great. He's great.
But he never gets to show it on this show. Because he's just trying to rein in a crazy man. Like
Curly Sue.
We've hired you to commentate play-by-play about wrestling. But an unpaid part of the job is you have to be an orderly at an insane asylum populated by one dude. And you're the only guy who works there. And he sits next to you. And he has a microphone. And seniority. You know what I mean? Like, that's a tough job for anybody to handle. I just feel like... Hey, before we get any further, we got Lieutenant Photo saying something here. Welcome to the newest SGS member. Congrats, Chris. Chris Pereira, longtime SGS member. Fantastic punter.
I was gonna say S-tier pun contributor.
S-tier pun contributor.
For sure.
The proud papa of a brand new bouncing baby girl born on Sunday. So we are doing baby puns.
We're doing baby puns today.
Baby puns in honor of the youngest member of the SGS.
Yes. And she will be SGS for life, which is the longest amount of time.
There is birthright citizenship in the SGS. For life. For life. So thank you very much. Hooray for Chris Pereira.
100% of her life, she has been a Sour Graps member. So 100%. Congratulations to Chris.
Tim McFall says money go to Kalex, but congrats go to Chris P.
Let's keep that going all night. Let's give the money to us and the congrats to Chris P.
That sounds good.
I'm in on that plan.
I like that. I like that a lot. They are a week out from Atlanta. I don't think they have. There's not like a named thing. It's just like we're going to Atlanta.
I mean, that would be a very accurate name if they just named it that.
It would be.
We're going to Atlanta.
They should just do the thing of don't call it a takeover, obviously, but like, what is the name of the thing, and then say the name of the city you're going to. When you're going on the road, because they have stacked this card in Atlanta.
Yes.
So when you're going on the road, you're going to put up a major card for a regular episode of TV, call it a thing, and then colon the name of the town. Because I feel like you would get more people going like, oh, there's a named thing tonight. I better tune in to see that. As opposed to if they missed tonight, they might not know that the card is crazy next week. So if you want to do that, why not? I think that they've really stacked what they're doing next week, and just like, next week in Atlanta doesn't have the ring to it of whatever a name of thing might be.
They didn't even give it like the Atlanta Avalanche or whatever, like the things that they normally do with those. But it is a stacked card. I will say they've gotten much better about the fluidity between shows. We were getting such weird divides where it was like, Michin's a babyface on one show and then completely different on SmackDown. It was like, what the heck? Now the storylines are carrying through brands a lot better. So I appreciate that. The transfer portal doesn't exist in NXT. It half does on the main roster. They just need to drop that. Just do trades. Do trades or temporary stays or whatever. Just justify it in story. But Atlanta does look to be a fantastic card. I'm happy for the NXT talent that get to kind of like cross over with what's going on the main roster with it. I am a big fan of your nomenclature because it is not time sensitive. So you don't get Halloween Havoc at like 2 days before Thanksgiving or New Year's Evil on Valentine's Day. Those are exaggerations, but they've been off on their times.
They've been off. New Year's Evil, without exaggeration, was January 10th 2 years ago. Which means they had at least one thing after New Year's Eve that they did not make continue.
Do you know how many people already gave up on their New Year's resolutions at that point?
Oh yeah. That's that episode of Seinfeld. Can you believe I got Happy New Year today? It's February. JDB Pringle says, amazing Alex, Killer Kate, powerful Papa Paul, Elizabeth, sisters, Luis, and all the SGS. Happy birthday to me on Thursday. Happy birthday to your brother, JW Pringle, on Thursday. And happy NXT to us all.
Thank you, brother.
And Paul Elizabeth says, save us, NXT, from winter's icy grip. We've got snow in Florida and New Orleans. Luckily, the wit, wisdom, and warmth of Team KLX and Sir JW of Pringle will get us through.
Keep Pringle.
Keep warm, Gabagool. Not keep cool, Gabagool. Keep warm, Gabagool. Your dad is the best.
He is. I get to see him tomorrow. I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
We're getting a new TV for my place. I'm very excited. And because I can't handle things as basic as mounting a television, he's going to help me in person. Come in and install it.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Orion Ben says, firstly, a hello to the Prime Alex and his mook bangs, along with the SGS fam. This was a dip in quality compared to the last couple of weeks. Yes, had some entertainment, but even those got overshadowed a bit. Yeah, there was some stuff we'll talk about. Meet Norma says, hello, bruvs. May Gabagool be with us all, and thank you, Netflix. Now, let us crank. He spells let us crank, Lettuce, I think, for you. I hope NXT was tolerable. He didn't even watch. Was Oba appropriately meaty? Very much so. Top Meat out. Thank you, Top Meat. Appreciate it. Very nice.
Thank you, Enormous. Let's crank indeed.
Indeed. That's all. It's always crank. We started out cranking with Tony D'Angelo and Ridge Holland, which did this. Okay, so Tony D'Angelo won. It was not a long match. He won due to outside interference times 3, I think, and two on behalf of the bad guy and one on behalf of the good guy, which actually led to the end of the thing. Before we get into like exactly what happened, just overall, did this feel like a one-off to you? Because it certainly did to me. And when you start it with a guy in a Santa suit attacks a guy and then unmasks dramatically and then frames a picture of said unmasking to present to a dude as a picture, that felt like a very long program, at least multiple matches, if not multiple months. And this felt like it was just like a thing they did and then moved on. Listen, I'm happy because I don't want to see any more Ridge Holland versus Tony D'Angelo, or Ridge Holland versus anybody really. He's great as a tag team guy or a bruiser or whatever, but not in this particular vein. So I'm kind of happy they're moving on, but it is odd for them to have pegged where moving on is necessary and then do it.
I honestly was kind of hoping this would be a little bit longer. Not too much longer, but I thought it would have a couple more minutes because Tony D is a champion. Yeah. I can't believe you don't think like starting as like a Santa framing situation doesn't scream like 6-month long-term rivalry.
I'm saying, I feel like it would have, but there was no follow-up with Ridge Holland, and like, you know, like it was just it. And it seems like Tony D'Angelo's got an entirely separate alternate story that has nothing to do with Ridge Holland after this.
I will say, like, in general, it feels like I am very pro wrestlers getting time off during the holidays. Let's start there. They should get more time off than they normally do. And I'm glad they got more time off from the holidays than traditionally. Those episodes kind of feel like they almost weren't canon. Like they were just kind of a wash. So, which is it's not the worst thing in the world. It's going to happen when you're doing double tapings to kind of build things up. But it's almost like they were like, nobody's watching on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. People tuned into the post show on New Year's Eve because it was Alex's Rockin' New Year's Eve. But I think it's felt off kilter just because of the taping schedule getting so weird. This being a one and done, I'm fine with, because it doesn't feel like, even though this happened over the course of a couple of weeks, it did not feel like we were going in hot to this. Right. So like one and done would be the direction that I would choose to go.
We are 3 days shy of a month since the original attack. We finally got around to doing our one match. Like I thought when he attacked him, oh, they've got something planned for the New Year's Eve show. That's your big main event of the New Year's Eve show. Tony D'Angelo versus Ridge Holland. Cool. And I thought, because of the ridiculousness of, I'm going to hang out in a Santa suit all night, and then when I finally have my opportunity, I'm going to attack you and then unmask dramatically. That to me screamed the first match of 6 matches is going to be on New Year's Eve. But I don't understand why you would do all of that and then just like wait almost a month and then do this. So the match ends when Izzy Dame enters, like Brooks Jensen, Sean Spears is there for a while, just standing there, and then he gets on the apron so Tony Angelo can punch him, and then Nico and the Beach run in and attack Stax and what's his name? I was going to say Ludovico. Luca. Let's say Ludovico, but that's a minor. That's a minor.
Luca Crucifino of Crucifino Law.
Ludovico is Jesse Ozog knows this, is a minor character from Shakespeare's Othello. So,
all right, well, everybody who's smarter than me, calm down, Jesse.
That's my fault. That's my fault for doing that. But anyway, they come in and they decide they neutralize the Stax and Luca at ringside, and they're just brawling the whole time. This distracts the referee enough that Izzy Dame comes in from the other side and hits a massive big boot right in the mush of Ridge Holland, who was not a short fella.
Not at all.
And that knocks him out basically, which allows Stax to hit.
He got Shafir'd is what happened.
One of his moves, but it wasn't like I thought it was. I appreciated that they used her size and a wrestling maneuver and not like a piece of luggage to hit the concussive blow. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But I hope
they unlock it, because I do think there's something in there with Izzy Dame that's special. Like there's.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the briefcase, because I also hope they unlock that.
No, that would be great, and just money falls out.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she's like absorbed in this group. I'm kind of into Sean Spears' cartoon villain guy now. I was weird about it at first. I didn't know where we were going.
I like that he walks around like this. He's grasping each of his forearms. And he's like,
he knows what show he's on. Like, I appreciate that about Sean Spears. I
want him to do more of this. More finger tenting and less forearm grasping, but it's fine.
Joe Gacy was like an S tier finger tenter. He was great at it.
Man,
nobody had a stronger finger.
The finger tent on that guy, jeez, legendary.
He had a lot of them.
A generational finger tenter.
Which is all we want, really. This was it was off kilter for an opener, because it just never really felt like it was about the two of them very much. And upsettingly, I feel like Santa should be getting his comeuppance here, Alex. This doesn't feel like it's over. I have a cousin who doesn't watch wrestling. I don't know if my cousin Michael's in the chat, but his sister, like, her introduction to wrestling was Alberto Del Rio hitting Santa with his car. And she was like, what is this? Nice. And she was hooked. Not really.
I forgot also they had like multiple brawls backstage last week. So that if they just did this out of that and nothing, I mean, it's probably not nothing. They'll probably just have Ridge attack him 2 weeks from now and continue the thing. But he's definitely doing something else now involving Izzy Dame and also his other core hordes, which we'll talk more about.
Yes.
Yes, the key to finger tenting is how the tips touch. You must touch tips. Hold on. I'm going to do this right. Yeah, I did it right. I did it right the first time.
There it is.
There, here we go.
But for a finger tent, you have to do it to yourself. So
wait, hold on. Finger tent each other. Come on. What are you doing? No, you don't do it with there you go. It was right. You were right.
So weird.
We're not doing a children's puppet, shadow puppets. We're not doing shadow puppets.
I'm Harley Cameron, basically.
Finger tent me. There we go. Finger tent me, bro. Come on.
It's awkward.
It's Kate attempting to dab. No, she got that one right. That's good.
It's very weird because it's in reverse already.
It is, I know.
And then you have to do the other. It's a whole thing.
If I think about, okay, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how would I do this? And then I have to think, do the opposite.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
My brain is like, okay, if you would do it, you would normally just do this, which is the absolute opposite. So just do the opposite. And if I could think about it ahead of time and say to myself, do the opposite of what you would normally do.
There was one point where I got really good at it just because MXM was on ROH enough that we were constantly touching tips. So like muscle memory was there, but that's since faded. So
there we go. See, this is the secret sauce. I love the show. We're off the rails already. We're not past the first segment. This is the secret sauce.
Welcome to Sour Grapes.
So this just felt.
It was fine.
It was
fine.
It
was just not about the match. It felt like about what everybody else was moving on to.
I mean, was it 7 minutes?
It was short. It was really short. It
did not feel long at all.
Yeah.
And so it just felt like, okay, well, this is a guy obviously it's longer than this match, but it did feel like they were treating Ridge Holland on the same level of Dion Lennox versus Wes Lee, which we got later. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel like, they were Ridge Holland. Listen, he never should have challenged for the top title, but you had him challenge for the top title.
Yeah.
And now, a month and 10 days later, he feels like he's not at all in the same league as the secondary champion. You know what I mean? Like, that is a weird thing to do to a guy in 5 weeks. You know what I mean? And they did it.
It was also weird because he was fighting Andre Chase and then in the world title picture, and now here it's been very sporadic. But Alex, there's a lot of people who are concerned about the length of their performance. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
They don't want those shorter match times.
No,
they want real main events. You know what I mean?
They want a Broadway.
They want as close as you can get to whatever Broadway. We're not making any promises here, but Blue Chew can help you out.
Blue Chew, main event performance, main event confidence, and a main event deal. Go to BlueChew.com and use the code FIGHTFUL, and you will get Blue Chew with their first shipment for free. Shipment? Yeah, I said shipment. No waiting in line at the pharmacy, no awkward doctor's visits. You take their online exam, and then if approved, it's shipped straight to your door. That's right. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and much more affordable. How can you pass up on this? How can you pass up on that confidence? How can you pass up on that performance? How can you pass up on making your sex life better? That's what Blue Chew is here to do. You don't have to have a problem to use Blue Chew. Just get that additional performance. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
Great segue by me. Great segue by me. I'm sorry. I have to just.
Wave to the people. Wave to people behind you. There you go. Yeah.
Thank you, Netflix, for my great segue.
Excellent. Backstage, Dion Lennox is talking to a guy I don't recognize, and Oro Mensah in a hoodie with his back to the camera. That guy's just contractually obligated to not be a wrestler anymore.
It's so weird. I don't know if he's like injured or what, but like he's not on the show very much.
He's around, and they've said, hey, well, you're dinged up and you're not allowed to wrestle, but you can stand on camera. It's just
well, the ding is paramount. Being dinged up as a wrestler is not good. Yeah.
No, you don't want to get dinged up, because then that's bad.
You've hit the ring bell with what happened there.
That's what happens. But in walks Wes Lee with his two guys who I think the story at least better be that they're unsure about being his backup, because they're really bad at it today. So there's like, they walk in, so it's Tyreek Igwe and Tyson DuPont, Team Tai, Team Bouncy Beef.
Correct.
They are behind him as he walks in. It's like, hey, I was saying, Dion Lennox, we all heard what you said. You must be out of your mind thinking you're going to challenge Oba Femi for the world title. Like, your challenge championship material. It's like, he's got to lose it sometime, and we know he's not going to lose it to you. And then Wes Lee's like, oh, I see, you big now. All right, okay, cool. And then Dion's like, whatever, kind of a thing. And then Trick Williams walks in, shirtless for no reason, and he's starts putting stuff in his locker. It's like, oh, look who it is, Trick Williams. How the mighty have fallen. How does it feel to know that? And then the slap was heard miles away.
Yeah,
because Trick Williams walks up and slaps the absolute bejesus out of Wes Lee, who is, I did not realize, a fantastic comedy salesman, because he falls into an empty locker, like a locker cubicle that has one plastic hanger dangling from the crossbar, and he does a whole friggin' stage play with the one hanger, trying to prop himself back up. That was really, really funny. But Trick Williams slapped your leader in the face, Tyreek Igwe, who just goes, hey. Like, he didn't do anything about it. There wasn't even really posturing. He was like, that's it. And the other guy, Tyson's just trying to help Wes Lee stand up, who's, again, busy, like, staging a Neil Simon play with this friggin' thing in the, I don't think, he was doing prop comedy. Like, that was hilarious, and I enjoyed it very much. But later, those guys are even worse at being his backup. It is very funny to me. And I don't know where that's going. I kind of just wanted to see them seriously be his backup, because that seemed to me like it could be really fun. But if they're leaning Wes Lee into, like, the guy who's, like, talks a big game but is comically bad at backing it up, and he has two incompetents, like, it looked like it was Mo, Larry, and Curly. Like,
it kind of did, yeah.
Really, like Mo, who's just talking to big shit, and then the other two guys who can't back him up at all in a fight. I don't know. I'm willing to see where it goes, because I think Wes Lee has the chops to handle it. But I kind of wanted to see what it would be if they were serious.
If it's intentionally done, that's a very different story that we've gotten, which is nice. Like, that's refreshing. We haven't had a story like that. The reaction almost reminded me not long ago when the Death Riders were about to Pillmanize Hobbs, and way too late, Adam Copeland and FTR ran down, like, so late after the beating. That's what this kind of reminded me of, was like, oh no. Like, what aren't you doing?
Yeah.
Wes Lee, great, and Trick Williams, the Stephanie McMahon school of slapping people. Very well done. Very well done on that part. But I wonder, there's a lot of people right now, but, like, Wes Lee is towards the top of the list of, I feel like he might get called up in a year or after Rumble. Like, and in a tag team or as a face or heel. Like, he has shown that he can rise to everything. So I don't think they need him for developmental, but I think the program needs him. So I'm intrigued, and I don't want him to get called up and just get lost in the shuffle either. He's too special of a talent, and I feel like he'd be at risk for that, the way things are operating right now, especially with, like, Penta coming in and all these things. Like, he'd probably be kicking around in the mid-card a bit. But I do feel like he's been great at everything they've given him. Sell it a plastic hanger or serious heel, easy to root for face. Like, he's fantastic in pretty much everything he gets. So I like if they were gonna go serious with it, like, I actually really like the idea of him and his size and Team Bouncy Beef behind him. Like
Yeah.
that's a fun stable of fellas.
Yeah. So we made a match for later between Dion Lennox and Wes Lee because he just pissed Dion Lennox for what Wes Lee for what Trick Williams did to him. So we got that later. But first, we got Bayley, who's on every show, and she's back to cut a promo about how Roxanne doesn't respect the thing with the stuff.
Put some respect. I mean, Bayley doesn't do that, but we're legally obligated.
But she basically did put some respect on the NXT Women's titles. It was mostly like, you don't know what we had to do to become this and everything, which is true and everything, but like we all kind of get it. And then he keeps name dropping Julia, so Julia comes out. We get a Julia and Bayley thing, and I was like, that would be interesting further down the line, because not right now, please. And then of course they're interrupted by not just Roxanne, but also Cora, who do a lot of like, how dare you even talk about her? She is so much better than you. Why are we even talking like this? This is a weird way for anybody to talk, let alone two people standing next to each other. And I don't know. It made Rox's, because Rox had lost a lot of that while Cora was gone, but like she just picks it back up. It's like when like you leave your hometown where everybody has an accent, and then you go back for Thanksgiving and you hang out with your old friends.
No, literally, though. Even when I go for commentary, I come back with like flat upstate New York A's. Oh no.
It's basically that. Like she picks up the old accent when Cora's around her.
I think if anybody says basically like put some respect on my name, it just muscle memory kicks in. Right. That man. Cora Jade did some really cool promo work when she was like, my favorite promo she ever did was when she was like calling out everyone in the locker room and just kind of roasting them. I don't know if you remember that, but like, I think it was a pre-tape, and she just went through why she was better than everyone else and roasted them pretty well. And now she sounds like an AI bad girl heel. Like it is, they have, I don't know if they didn't really have a plan for her after the return from injury, but like if you come back and you cost Julia, and this is what we're doing like months later, I get where they're going with it, but like we're taking forever to get there, and it has not been a very inspired path. She's not like picking up wins. There has not been an alliance between Roxanne and Cora, really, of like, I'm helping you, you're helping me, blah, blah, blah. Like there's been no effort put into it other than we're on the same page because we are both wearing black leather and we've been friends, and also ignore that time that we were NXT tag title holders for 9 days and we never actually resolved that. Like they just take the laziest shortcuts. I hope something pops ring-wise for her and Masha Slamovich when they have that match, because she showed up in TNA, by the way, this weekend. So that's good. There was like an intent. She'll be fighting Masha Slamovich for that title, but like there's nobody that they have told us this is a highly profiled talent in the women's division that needs a jolt like that woman does, whether it's wins, whether it's a character refresh, whatever. But right now, she seems like the third meanest girl in my sorority. Like I don't buy the character. I don't feel like the ring work has been seen enough to back any of it up, because she was just like kind of in the Iron Survivor and did a couple of other things. So it's like she hasn't had the room to showcase anything really, I don't feel like. So I don't know. I just feel like they're like, she's very important.
Yeah.
Because she's out there. Like they've of anybody, because there's so much great talent right now at the forefront of the women's division. She's the one that feels like the most vulnerable.
Yeah. But the crowd was letting them hear it. And they
big time. Big time.
They were doing the thing where Cora was covering Roxanne's ears so she wouldn't hear them booing, which is always a fun heel thing to do.
That is cute.
It's cute.
It's cute.
It's always it's a thing. But it all breaks down into a brawl. The baby faces stand tall, and they have announced that next week in Atlanta, this is a big show, Atlanta, that they're doing next week.
NXT, this is a big show, Atlanta. Yeah. NXT colon.
NXT, this is a big show. NXT colon, this is a big show, colon, Atlanta.
NXT colon Paul White colon Atlanta.
Yes. NXT colon large event colon Atlanta. That's happening next week. They're doing the dream tag match. Stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do this. Stop calling things dream tag matches when 1/4 of them is Cora Jade. I'm sorry. Like, that's not where she's at right now. I'm not saying she can't get there, but she's coasting on a reputation that she had when she was a skater girl. You know what I mean? Like,
and you're like, see you later, girl. That's where you're at right now with this.
I'm just saying.
I would say there are few women in the whole wide world that are as good as Steph Akure and Julia and Bayley and Roxanne.
I know.
So it's certainly not like a slap in the face to her. It's just that it is there's a gap. There's a noticeable gap. That's all.
Jada was backstage bragging about how Bayley mentioned her when she was talking about the women's division. She's
not a pick me girl. What was this?
It's like, that's right. She's talking about me. You know it. I'm like, I don't know. Like I got name dropped by a person who's been doing this longer than I have. Doesn't feel like that's a Jada thing.
Not at all. Yeah.
You know, but Kalani is like, gets up in her grill about stuff, and Jada rightfully calls her out on, what is this attitude? Nobody is buying it. Like, you think you're all hard because you're pissy about stuff. And so they get, testy. And then Solruka and Zelta, who are two of the top 5 women in this place, are just hanging out back there, passing a notepad back and forth. You could text. I don't like this. This feels like something they would do in the 90s, where like 2 girls sitting at the same cafe table would like write texts to each other and then pass the notebook back and forth.
No respect for Pictionary on this post show today. What are you?
Are they playing?
What do you
Hangman? They're playing Adam Hangman Page.
He finally got more screen time.
No, but Zelta in particular should not be this person.
No, there's a really fun odd couple thing with her and Solruka that you could do, and they're not doing it.
But yeah, no, not when they're just 2 girls in the locker room. Like, get her to take off the makeup, dye her hair blonde, and make her Cassie Bright or whatever the heck her name was.
Carly Bright.
Yeah, and whatever the other one's name was, Cassie Gray. What was her name? It was
Kendall Gray?
Kendall Gray. Again. It might as well be Cassie and Cassie. Come on. Like, it's a hard consonant at the front and then an E at the end. Most of them. Well, I guess Kendall isn't. Kendall Gray.
Gray.
So I don't understand why they're doing that with her in particular, and also Solruka. They have to hold back Kalani so she doesn't get involved in what's happening between. Karmen walks up and is like, "Don't everybody just be calm, because love is in the air." And I threw up in my mouth. And then when I went and spat it into the sink, I came back, and thank God the segment was over. I just can't anymore with, this is what they've done to Karmen Petrovic, is the girl who's in love and talks about how in love she is. But Jada Parker is like, okay, well, you can get some too. Let's have a match. And then they decided to do that later.
Alex, you once called our brand constructive hypercriticism, and I like that. But when I look at other people's feedback on NXT, I don't know anyone who's been like, "Man, Karmen Petrovic is in the storyline of the year right now." Like,
no, I haven't heard that one.
Love NXT are like, "What is happening with this whole thing? Make it stop make it go away.
Yeah.
So they should do that. They should. You don't need to drag this out to Valentine's Day just because there's a love thing. Let's knock it off. We can just. Sometimes it's important to just admit when you're wrong, and I feel like they need to just admit when they're wrong. And Alex, as much of a continuity connoisseur as you are, I feel like if they just dropped this out of thin air, you'd be like, "That's okay with me."
Yeah, they can be dating. They just don't have to like bring it up all the time.
Yeah, they don't have to be gross.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and Ashanti doesn't have to be awful.
No,
like manipulative and terrible. So
no. So they had the match. Karmen comes out with Ashanti with her on her arm, and it's hard to swing a sword when you might cut off a dude's hand. So she doesn't get to do her fun stuff on the way to the ring. She does some fun stuff in the ring, I guess. But Jada and Karmen, like, this should be a one of like Jada was like, oh, you know the kung fu, like I know how to like street fight, but you're like actually from Street Fighter, you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole different kind of thing, and I kind of wanted that for this to like allow to show this the difference in styles between the two, because I think they're both accomplished fighters. And I wanted to see more of that. Instead, I was just waiting for Kalani to come down to the ring, and then she did. and they had Karmen already set up and bent over her temple, waiting to be hit with a butt, and then Jada Parker hit the ropes and was running to do it, and then 3 steps before she got to Karmen Petrovic's waiting head, she saw Kalani on the rope, on the apron, and slowed up and stopped and walked around Karmen. I was like, you could have hit her on the way to running over and attacking Kalani, and then turned around and pinned Karmen, but you decided not to do that. So she decided to like get involved with Kalani, who I believe did Zelta and no, they didn't come down and stop her from this. There was a different day. But Kalani jumps down, and Jada Parker, instead of turning around into a huge spinning kick that knocks her loopy, Karmen Petrovic wins with a schoolgirl roll up, and a bad one. And why this? I wouldn't hate all distraction finishes so much if 95% of them ended with the guy who got distracted or girl turning around and taking a finishing move, as opposed to just getting rolled up from behind. Yeah, because it is like, if you're not protected, if you don't see a bunch of finishers coming, they will put you out. And the reason you don't see it coming is because you are distracted. That should be the rule, as opposed to, I'm distracted. Whoops, the worst roll-up ever made me not able to kick out of stuff.
I would also like it if more people transferred the weight onto people's backs with their roll-ups. Like, it's unfortunate, and I am not the person to be this pretentious, but like, we see a lot of shitty roll-ups. Like, do better roll-ups, and I'll have less of a problem with it, because the thing that I am okay with, I hate how frequent it is. But to me, roll-ups should be the opportunistic moment for a pin, right? Like, they should be like either transitional sneaky ones where it's like, oh, I could quick capitalize and win here, or like, you're distracted, I can win with kind of like a flash pin situation here. So I don't hate it so much. I hate how frequent it is. I hate how dumb people usually are in the distraction part of it. Like this is so great from Anti-Cyclone. Jada was playing 2K and she hit the ropes but forgot to hit the finisher button. That's basically what it is. So
yeah, it's a rookie move, but yeah, definitely a thing that happens in video games all the time.
So there you go. So I just wish they were, if you wouldn't hate distraction finishes so much if they ended with a finisher and not a shitty roll up. I would like them if they didn't constantly make faces look dumb to get there with distraction music, with not thinking that the person you have tension with might come down to the ring. Like, just they never show up in an interesting way. Like, now they're sitting in the ring or sitting in the crowd and on Raw. So I would like them to be more creative about the ways that they get there.
Jam Beard commenting on the controversy with Jada. She's still very young, obviously ignorant about a lot of stuff, and there are people that she works with who will help her go further down that path, or people that she works with who will inform her of better opinions to have on stuff, and we'll see who she latches onto in the locker room, or hopefully we won't. There's just no reason to post any of that stuff on social media. And so that is my thing with this, is that I'm disappointed in the things she had to say. I don't want to go into too much far into that, but everyone here knows that this is a very safe space for people. I wish she had not mentioned that, so I could to go on blissfully unaware of her views about stuff. Social media has made a lot of things. It's harder to be fans of people when you don't know if one weekend they're just going to start spewing crap through their fingers onto their phone keyboards and making you disappointed in them. But that is what happened, and hopefully that won't continue.
Yeah, I'll just say, well, I'll echo to your point. The wonderful Lyric at Lyric Wrestling said, we know too much about each other.
It's good. Yeah.
And I was like, yep. I will say there are nuances to the issue of like how trans people equally should be able to participate in sports in ways that I am not qualified to form opinions on. And I can appreciate nuances. I have my beliefs, especially with children at the least competitive ages of things.
Yeah.
That they should be able to participate however they feel comfortable, right? I will say that around here, trans rights are human rights. It's not negotiable.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable here.
It's a channel-wide thing that everybody here is behind. Certainly here, and I don't think that anybody who comes in here particularly should have to wonder if they're equal to anybody else in the chat. The other people who get kicked out, as we said yesterday, are bigots and Tyrus, who might be a bigot. We don't know, but we've seen the views.
Almost.
Yeah, we've certainly seen views. And also a horrible wrestler. He's retired now, but
right, yeah.
But those are the people who are not welcome here. So we love you so much, and we understand the weight and how hard of this passage of time has been. Yeah. For a lot of people.
Yeah. Wes Lee and Dion Lennox, it was fun for a bit because Dion Lennox got to be aggressive and big and throw his weight around a little bit, former linebacker. And Wes Lee got to put his ass down. And I like that they just had him. No. Yeah, you're big, buddy. But if I can hit you with 3 consecutive kicks, you're not getting up from that. And so that's what they did. And then he got on the mic afterwards and started talking about Trick. So Trick came out to further do some stuff. And Tyson DuPont met him at the bottom of the ring because Team Team Bouncy Beef was out there. Tyson DuPont met him at the bottom of the ramp, and Trick Williams smacked him, and Tyson went that way. And Tyreek goes, "Hey, buddy, you okay?" And he was nowhere near in the way of Trick Williams, and was checking on his friend who had been slapped by Trick Williams, and had nothing to do with trying to help Wes Lee. He was getting his absolute ass handed to him in the ring. I don't think these guys are like wholeheartedly henchmen. Like they have not fully bought into the hench life. Like if you're gonna hench, you gotta hench with your whole body. if you're just henching half-heartedly, we can't get a half-hearted hench. Half-hearted henching is not going to work out for you people. Everybody's got to hench 100% hench.
You can't half hench, as the old saying goes. Henchman, henchwoman, whatever, however you hench person. You gotta be all in on the hench, and they either aren't by design or they're not good at it because they don't seem like the kind of guys that would bend the knee to anybody in any situation.
Yes. Again, full hench or no hench. We cannot half-ass the hench.
No. You either hench or you don't hench.
No, that's right. No such thing as halfway henching. Can't do it. Yes, Mr. Darkey, it does feel like the episode of the Venture Brothers. It does. For 100%. I just wanted to put this up there for a while and leave it for a bit.
Okay.
So Trick and Wes is something that I kind of like.
I love that idea. Yeah,
when there's no titles on the line, because then you can actually make it into a rivalry, and they can trade victories for a little bit without worrying about title reigns being screwed up. But these guys had a bit of a rivalry back when Wes Lee was really feuding with Carmelo, but the babyface heel alignment was switched.
Correct.
So I'm interested now, particularly if we can get away from the half-hearted henching of Trick Williams versus like that with those guys running interference for Wes Lee. Because if Wes Lee, let's say we get a trio of matches, three matches, Wes Lee making the second one into no DQ and letting those guys like help him out in the match. And that's the one victory he gets out of the three. They're all really good matches, but Trick wins the first one. Wes Lee gets the second one. Maybe it's the second one he makes it into a no DQ match, and the third one's a cage match or something. Like, this is a fun thing, unless they're calling up Trick for the Royal Rumble, which honestly, I don't know why you would be doing that. Wouldn't be doing that, but it certainly doesn't seem like they're doing that. So
it doesn't feel like they're doing that.
No, it doesn't.
Corey, he says he hasn't heard either way. I could see them maybe, I think because Carmelo's kind of just being utilized and the way he's being utilized isn't necessarily the best. It's not the worst, but it's also not the best.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's an assumption that he'll walk into that picture either against Carmelo or to back him up. And if that's the case, I think Carmelo has to have a really specific path that he's on for Trick to then interject. I don't hate the idea of him sticking around NXT more because I feel like he could he's improved so much, and I think there's still room for him to improve even more, but I don't think he's not main roster ready. So if they called him up, I don't think it's going to be like, he's flailing. Like, I think he'll do great, but there are certain things that I can kind of see, like just seasoning on stuff. And part of it is his booking's been so freaking weird that like, we don't always get to see like what a great Trick match is. I think with Wes Lee, we're going to get to see what great Trick matches are with less interference, with less goofy stuff. And I also think the men's singles division desperately needs a really good title adjacent feud with one of their rising stars and one of their top stars. That's a very simple thing to do. Go do it.
MD Cyclo, literally reading my mind. Future Jey Uso and Trick Williams tag team. If they're not going to put the Usos back together, maybe not a tag team, but an alliance, I could absolutely see them realizing how over Trick is and how over Jey is, and having like each boost each other for a while, because that's something they would do to get them both.
What are they going to call it? Yeet that Trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's reason number one why they would do it. You know what I mean?
I still can't believe I thought of this months ago. The fact that Jey Uso has not had a yeet and greet autograph signing is ridiculous to me. Come on.
He should do one of those in every town that they go to.
My God. Yeet and greet, and then whoever makes those sunglasses is giving them away for free?
Yeah. They can't.
I gave you that one for free.
Those
Meet
are
and
those are
greets.
those are being made by 4-year-olds across an ocean.
No!
2 cents. They are. You know they are. For 2 cents a piece, you can afford to give them away.
That is true. That part's definitely true. Yeah. They're also a multi-billion-dollar company, so I think they're probably fine.
They're fine. They can.
Oh, it'll be in October, and it'll be Trick or Yeet. Perfect. Good job, chat. Good job. We're the best show.
Michael Cole calling a Trick or Yeet fight is the Halloween present we didn't know we needed.
Woohoo!
Yes, Louise telling us that it's been announced AR Fox versus Joe Strickland for tomorrow on Dynamite, so that should be interesting.
That's fun.
Steph Facaire had an interview where she was like, it is funny to me how Fallon Henley is standing in the way of me getting my title match. She should say, also, I'm planning on murdering Ava for giving away my number one contendership. Like she's very matter of fact, and this is what's going to happen. Shotzi, I wanted to let you know that if you become the Women's North American Champion next week, after that, you will meet hell. Fallon. And she says this, she guesses, you will meet hell. And then she goes, Fallon, smile. I was like, oh Jesus, she's gonna kill everybody. I mean, like just everyone. Just like Ava Ava steps out of her office and comes back, and it's just Stevie Turner pinned to a wall with like written in her blood, "I'm coming for you." Like that's how creepy and crazy Steph Facaire felt in this interview. Like this was really fun. I honestly liked what she said with this. Doesn't matter who I'm coming for that North American title. And my thing is, as great as what you're doing with Stephanie is, that is how bad what you're doing with Zelta is. Like, I'm not saying they should have the same character, but it is weird that you brought 3 of them here and only 2 of them are allowed to do anything at any one time. Like, I don't understand what...
I did have this thought. Do you think they're going to do a muscle mommy feud between her and Jordan Grace when Jordan shows up?
Maybe that's what they're waiting for.
I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do, but Jordan Grace should just be in the Royal Rumble and on the main roster, in my opinion. That's just me. She's signed, sealed, delivered TV star. She does not need to be in developmental, but...
I don't know what her Mania match is, but I do know they could just do a straight-up Zelta versus Jordan Grace anything goes match at Stand and Deliver. You know what I mean? So if Jordan and Zelta are in the Rumble at the same time, and
set it up,
and take turns chucking women over the top rope until it's just the 2 of them somewhere in the middle, and they're just throwing bombs at each other until they eliminate each other, and then they fight to the back, and then we keep cutting back to them destroying the back like it's the Hulk, and like it's just the Hulk fighting a clone of the Hulk, just smashing each other backstage, and that begins the feud. Like if they don't have anything for Jordan, and right now we're talking about this last night. I don't know what you do with Liv Morgan, who was the women's champion forever. I don't know what you do with her.
Wyatt 6 versus Judgment Day. I think.
Maybe, I don't know, but like that's certainly a possibility. But they're crowded up there, so if they won't be forever. But right now it feels like they might have things in motion for stuff. But they don't, obviously, for Zelta currently. So maybe that's a thing you do with Jordan and Zelta for Stand and Deliver. That could be a lot of fun.
I would argue that is, in fact, a better use of Zelta than her standing in the locker room. So,
yeah.
So I'm with you on that one.
Speaking of which, we got a Bianca and Naomi promo about how the Lash and Jakara are doing well, but we're going to beat you in Atlanta. And then we got Sol and Zelta standing around backstage some more, giving a pep talk to their rivals. because we listen. It's been so long since we got brand supremacy. I forgot how it feels to have the entire locker room full of people who should hate each other band together over the color of the brand that they're on. But all of the women backstage were like, "You guys gotta go and beat Bianca and Naomi, and then you could bring the tag titles back here," which is the thing I've been saying now for months, which would be an awesome thing for them to do. I just don't want it to be this, which is like, you guys got to do it for us, for all the women here. We're all pulling for you, Lash and Jakara, who have been so mean to us now for over a year. We love you so much, girls. That's right, girl power. Let's all do the weird thing where you click your nails together. Together, everybody. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Click, 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 click.
I do think it's a shoot. I think that the NXT titles need to come back.
Me too. I do want that.
Because I don't love it. It's a lot easier than an entire pay-per-view build of brand supremacy to stomach this. It also helps because it's true. They never should have merged these tag titles. It's stupid. It's stupid that because they haven't floated. They don't come to NXT. If you're going to merge them, they should float across all 3 brands. So that was the thing, was we had the women's tag titles, and we had these NXT ones, and there wasn't room or whatever. So they merged them to come around. My only thing with this is I don't need to hear anybody on any show anymore say, we have the best women's division in the world.
Yeah.
Enough. Just be the best women's division in the world. Because it doesn't do anything except it kind of makes you sound corny, honestly. So let's every company should move on from that. Because probably Stardom does, and I don't really follow that product all that much. So, yeah, this was a little corny, but I had less of a problem with it because it's freaking true. The NXT tag title should be on NXT.
Yes, agreed. They should. It's Lash and Jakara next week. Lash's hometown. I think it would be a really good thing for them to do it. I don't think it would be a bad idea for if they're going to do the thing that breaks up Bianca, Naomi, and Jade. If that's a thing that's going to happen, do it. Start a rift with the loss on Tuesday and do the thing on Friday.
Yeah,
I mean, why not? Like, follow it up on Friday. Have Jade is tweeting cryptically about how it looks like she knows who attacked her, but she's not saying it to anybody. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to tell the police. Like, somebody tried to murder you with a car. Someone tried to murder you on top of a car.
I was gonna say, not someone.
Someone tried to murder a car with you. That's actually what happened. They threw you at the car so hard they were using your body as the weapon in an assault on the car. That is what happened.
I feel like if I looked like Jade Cargill, I would also not think I need help. I feel like I would probably just be able to destroy anybody. And if I can't destroy them physically, I will with just look at me. And people will crumple into a tiny ball. I'm intrigued by that. I don't know if Jade comes back as the heel who's pissed.
I don't know.
Naomi took her spot. I don't know, if Naomi did it. I don't know. I mean, this is a better whodunit because I don't actually know.
It is better. At this point, the person, even though it makes zero sense, in the long term, the person I hope it was is Bianca.
Yes.
I still want that Bianca heel run on the main roster because she was great in NXT.
And I want her to face Rhea.
And the problem with that is that if it was her that took out Jada, that's your match. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing that is a weird deal with all of this. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but
you could do Jade versus Bianca at Rumble.
Well, then you got to get this whole thing done. You know what I mean? Isn't Bianca in the Rumble? But it doesn't matter. She
declared. We all declared. I declared. I'm in it.
Jambeard says Soul and Zelta beyond the Surfer Dome. Not beyond Thunderdome, beyond the Surfer Dome. Jade was in Bianca's entrance in the match while she was attacked. So it couldn't have been Bianca unless she could do time travel, which honestly is a gimmick I would not frown upon.
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah,
also, not always WWE's best strength with continuity with things like that.
Not usually. Not usually. But yeah.
Oh,
Just Andre Chase.
This was so weird.
Andre Chase, here's what we've learned about Andre Chase. His beard comes in patchy. Like mine doesn't come in great above the jawline, but he had one little dime-sized circle of hair in the middle of his cheek, and I was like, you got to shave that off, dude. Like, other parts of you can look disheveled, but the dime-sized circle of hair's got to go. Anyway, just the thing I noticed, because he's down and out, he still hasn't figured.
It was giving sad Corbin.
Here's the thing that is weird to me. If you're this depressed, you don't have to wear button-down shirts. If it's hard for you to tuck them in, you could go to a TJ Maxx and buy a couple of hoodies and stuff. Like if you're like the deal is like, okay, this is me depressed. Me depressed is wearing the exact same wardrobe I had before, but being unsure of how to use that wardrobe, as opposed to like he should be in a bathrobe. If he's really this depressed, he should be like, I'm not going anywhere today. I woke up, I'm wearing the same shit I slept in. That's how depressed he is, but he still keeps coming into work. Does he sleep there? Anyway, Hank and Tanker's like, we're not mad at you for walking out on us on our 6-man tag. I mean, it stands to reason we should be, but we're not because we're dopes. You want to hang out later?
There were not really stakes in that 6-man, and really Andre Chase is not in a good. I think it's good they prioritize Andre Chase's mental health above a meaningless 6-man. Anyway, be a good friend, Alex. Oh wait, you hate friendship. Never mind.
I hate friendship when it comes to Andre Chase because that man doesn't deserve friends. That because he goes, yeah, right, whatever, guys, and leaves, and then they show a highlight reel of the worst stuff he used to do when he was a heel, as the head professor yelling at his students, throwing things at them, cursing them out, and I was like, this is the guy that became a huge baby face to this crowd overnight with no change in his persona. And then we get Kale Dixon, named after the worst leafy green, who's over here saying, hey, man, you're a badass because you yell at your students? That's terrible. And he's like, I was a bad house, but Chase U is dead. And Kale Dixon, named after the worst leafy green, is like, but it doesn't have to be. And no, Kale Dixon, named after the worst leafy green, it does have to. It has to be. It has to be dead. Why? Because he lost a match where that was at stake. Chase U is dead because there are consequences for losing a match with stipulations added to them. You can't just say, oh, it's back now. You can't just do that.
I'm honestly just very caught up on the strays that cruciferous vegetables are important, Alex.
Listen,
they hold different nutrients than spinach. Wait, Allie says Kale Dixon was on The Bachelorette. Is that true?
I don't know.
Kale is pretty gnarly, but it's okay for smoothies. Those are my thoughts on the situation. No, why did they let go of Baron Corbin but keep his gimmick from 5 years ago?
I don't know.
That was weird. I feel like the shirt thing is the symptom of when you're too depressed to. I'll just throw something on. But don't you reach for a hoodie?
Like if you was I wouldn't mind if it was a button down that he didn't button.
Fair.
Because that takes a lot of when I listen, I've struggled with depression throughout my adult life. The last thing I want to do when I'm just don't want to do anything is button a shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
do you know how much worse the depression gets when you've misbuttoned it too because you're off one? I'm not leaving the house then.
Yeah. So now, anyway,
I love that there's a side discussion about Kale going on.
The first thing that he did say was, Hank and Tank, you all should just break up now because every team ends up breaking up. It's like, no, we're not gonna break up. We're totally cool. Like, no,
we're Hank and Tank.
We're best friends. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. So Kale Dixon is gonna revive the school. You never told us who it was who called out to him in the hallway. I'm convinced it was supposed to be Bodhi, and then they couldn't reach a contract agreement with him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird. There's no one else it could have been. Also, where are Duke Hudson, Riley Osborne,
and Thea
Hale?
Where's Thea Hale been for months?
Like, Thea Hale, especially for them, because I thought she was like the future. And for us, where's Duke Hudson?
Yeah, for me and you.
For you especially.
Like me specifically.
For me, where's Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne as a tag team? Because those
they
guys
were fun.
Great as a tag team. If you don't have the dude who lost the match that cost them the university, lost it, and he just now mopes around the place. But these people, they all had to transfer to a different university so they could finish out their
through the
degrees.
portal. Yeah, they had to.
For that, because
they were like, I was 6 credits short, man.
Now I go to freaking UCF. Like,
no, they go. Where do they film it out of? What school is that? Not DeVry.
Full
what
Sail?
School? Full Sail. Yeah, they just finished.
They don't have a partnership with them anymore. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I miss Duke Hudson. Let him wrestle on my screen. Thanks.
So apparently Bodhi appeared at the ROH tapings.
Oh, well, then he's definitely not.
No, maybe that was it. Maybe like, hey, we want to bring you in for an appearance. And it was like, yeah, but I gonna do the thing with ROH. So.
Wait, what?
Anyway. Rafael Garcia says, but that's depression. That's his depression button up. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Maybe that's what it is. Yes. Shout out to all of DDT. Yes, Rafael Garcia. Thank you very much for that. Rafael Garcia also says, it might be me, but I'm of the belief that if you break up a tag team, you don't put them in another tag team. And I liked Beer Money, which was not the name. Their names were Double Vest and the Beach. That was their tag team name. And also, where's Thea?
Yeah, that one's suspicious because I haven't heard anything about her being injured or anything like that. Unless it was like a thing where sometimes they just pull people off of TV and they come back new and improved. But Thea was progressing a lot with reps in the ring on TV. I felt like that was a good place for her. But is what it is.
Now we know where Duke and Riley are. They're doing the next calendar. Because now it's not going to be the ladies of Chase U. Now it's the men of not Chase U.
Of not Chase U.
It's just
the artist formerly known as Chase U.
It's just going to be Duke Hudson laying there like HBK with the title, but it's the MVP trophy covering his junk.
He's so tall. Yeah. It would have to be a very long couch.
It would be the centerfold. It's the centerfold part of it.
Perfect.
And it unfolds like 4 times.
There you go.
Nico and Beej defeated Stax and Luca.
Sometimes you say things that are normal for us to say, but not normal for the rest of society to say. And I hear them as if I'm a part of the rest of society. I'll stop doing that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nico and Beej they're able to defeat Luca and Izzy. No. Luca and Stax. Izzy was doing something else. But they're really putting over Nico as something. Was this the match where Booker just wouldn't stop screaming?
There were 2. I think this was one of them.
There was one match where Corey was silent for 5 straight minutes. And I was like, did he get up and leave the desk? Because I hadn't heard him in such a long time. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have blamed him if he had, because like Vic could not corral Booker, who was just he was incessant about something. Just wouldn't stop yammering. And I couldn't believe it, man. And Vic was trying to get him to calm down, and Gory just gave up. He's like, I will not try to get a word in edgewise because I'm not going to get shouted down by him. So I'm just going to wait for my turn.
Well, and I think he also knows that announce desks are not supposed to sound like The View. Like, it's ridiculous how much like competing. And Corey talks more than most color commentary guys. We talked about this yesterday. You and I are not always the biggest fans of his work. I, in general, am not a big fan of, or I feel like wrestling has evolved past the need for heel color commentary guy. It has value and it has a place, and he was excelling at the role that WWE had him in. Like that much I don't think anybody can take away from him. So what's confusing is with the announcer shuffle.
Right.
Like the guy that they brought in was a play-by-play guy, is Joe Tessitore. So how Corey Graves has been omitted from all that is very odd to keep the sanctity of Pat McAfee around. Because Pat McAfee doesn't do his job. If there's anywhere you need a 3-man desk, it's where Pat McAfee also is, because he's not doing his job. So Corey Graves, who participates more on commentary than a lot of color commentators, which is fine, who knows the role that he's playing at an announce desk with the play-by-play, is a fine tandem. When you throw in a guy who, as you accurately said early, is a steamroller, like whether you like him or not, he's just cutting people off constantly. Corey Graves becomes like where the hell do I slot in? And on a first time with a 3 desk, I can't even imagine how tricky that is on a really good 3-man with that trio of guys. Because I actually thought there were points where Vic and Corey had really good chemistry. Like they felt very comfortable with each other. It sounded like there was all the football jokes that got made in the one and stuff. Like they felt like they were comfortable, and it felt like we had like a hanger around her.
I honestly feel like a 2-man booth of Vic and Corey would be excellent.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they'll realize that. You know what I mean? Like, but
it's like they don't want to have the hard talk with Booker T.
Remember, like, it was like 3 or 4 weeks in a row last year where Booker was out doing something,
and Wade Barrett
Barrett came back, and it was just Wade. It was just Wade and Vic, and I was like, why isn't this the 2-man booth for all 3 of your shows? Like, they were so good together. They had timing. They had a good sense of rapport and humor together. Both of them knew their stuff. Vic was able to like call the action, and Wade had really good insights and timed them right and had like big reactions to stuff. It was perfect. I was like, I just don't understand why we're not like why we've just buried Vic Joseph down here. Like, hey kid, it's not your time yet. You're not 38 yet. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get a push when you get to be 38. I don't know how old he is, but he's not 38, I don't think. So, like, it's just, man. Anyway, during this match, he was just going crazy about all this stuff. And anyway.
He also doesn't know what he's going crazy about half the time. That's my problem.
Yeah.
It's like when you're mad at, like when you're a toddler and you're mad and you don't know why. So you're just like, because I didn't want that cereal or whatever. Like, he just is directionlessly going bananas.
Right. And Vic is 39.
Oh, he should be main eventing.
He looks 29.
He's got a baby face.
Like,
he's got a baby face.
He's gonna age like wine. That dude's gonna be 70 years old and look 55.
He's gonna be one of those.
Like, he's gonna be like, oh my god, look at you. You know,
I believe.
Hopefully by the time he's 70, he's actually doing play-by-play on Raw or SmackDown.
Unlikely, but I believe his lovely wife, who was so good backstage, came back at TNA, I think. So good on her, because she was excellent. She was really, really good.
Yeah. Jambeard says, I like Pat, but my new nightmare is Pat and Booker as a 2-man booth. No, that's not possible. But Pat and Booker as 2 out of the 3. The third guy, who's actually supposed to like corral everybody, that dude he'll quit in the middle of the show. He'll just quit.
I would literally have to mute that broadcast. Like, just thinking about that.
Able to do it. Anyway, Nico and Beach defeat Stax and Luca. Sean Spears is out there, but Tony D isn't there. They are pushing on commentary Nico as this force of nature.
Yes,
he seems large-ish, but you know what I mean. Like he's 6'2", 250 pounds, and I'm like,
that's
a small wrestler.
Or wait, that's way shorter than Duke Hudson.
3.5 inches shorter than Duke Hudson. You know what I mean? Like that's a small-ish wrestler according to obviously not small, but according to the way that they he's not huge. He's not like this big bruiser guy. He's a decent sized man. He's a college tight end. That's what he was, and that's what he. But they're like, oh my god, look at the size of this fella. Like, anyway, he doesn't hit a spear on Luca on the outside, and Luca reacts as though a spear was hit on him, and that is what leads to the end of the thing. He does a very good lunging lariat thing to knock Stax for a loop to get the pinfall. But the spear that he was supposed to have hit on Luca did not connect with anything.
No.
So this is his first televised match. By definition, he has to get better.
Yeah.
So it is very odd to me that we're pushing him as this thing that he isn't yet on commentary. Just don't do that. Don't set expectations for a guy that you can't live up to yet. Oh, hey, that he's got a lot of room to grow, but you can tell there's the kernel of something there. Is a lot more honest than, wow, look at that, and it's not anything.
Yeah, they made it feel like he was TNT title Miro already. But cool to see. Good for Luca for selling it.
Backstage, Izzy and Tony D are talking. And I don't know what anyway. Izzy finally says, like, Tony's like, all right, well, I got things I gotta go do, so I gotta do. Oh yeah, okay, bye. And after she hit the big boot on Ridge earlier, she says, now we're even, and she leaves. But apparently we're not, because she comes and talks to him for a long time, according to Tony D, who, after he dismisses her finally, Stax and Luca and Big Ange show up, and they're like, where were you? I was talking to Izzy. She wouldn't shut up. What do you want me to do? Did you win? No, we lost. We really could have used you out there. I mean, Spears was out there with his guys. It's like, hey, Luca, you've been the underboss for 2 years. You are the underboss, meaning you are under me, but you are the boss of that guy and that girl, and that's it. At this point, you should be able to handle things on your own. You orchestrated a long con on Gallus with me in prison for 4 months. You should be able to handle Nico and the Beach, all right? And he's not wrong, but also the tone that he was using suggests a Tony D heel turn or kicking those guys out of the group and just forming a duo with Izzy, which please don't. Just that last part, we don't need to give him a mole. We don't need to give him a gangster mole. We don't need to do that.
I think they maybe have to earn their keep a little bit, and I think Izzy maybe sneaks her way in here, because it would be fun if that was like her and Ange had some Adriana Rizzo, Big Ange had like a she doesn't even go here thing. Like, you're not family. It's fun to have family angles where people who aren't family sneak into them, i.e. Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, but like this one would be more serious and mob bossy, I think. So that could be fun.
Okay, so I've been putting this off long enough. There was a vignette or a
vignette
of Brian Pillman Jr., aka Alexis King, that was supposed to be like, I've been trying so hard to prove that I am not my father, which is like the thing that I am least like my father about is he didn't have a terrible beard that was drawn on with Sharpie. So that is how I prove that I am not him, by having a beard that he did not have. And also, I am not a loose cannon, and I hate when people tell me that I am. Nobody tells you what you are because you have not behaving like one. They tell you that you've been a weird douche hanging out backstage, creeping on ladies. They might be telling you that, but I don't know if your dad...
a grandpa with your taste in music, but...
They tell you to lay off the Cinderella and the warrant, but they don't necessarily tell you about the other thing. But anyway, this led to the Heritage Cup match. Remember when he was having his first Heritage Cup title challenge and Ava wouldn't let him go out there without a corner man because those are the rules? You have to have a corner man.
Yeah.
For everybody who competes in a Heritage Cup match must have a corner man. And I said at the time, didn't Briggs challenge for the Heritage Cup without a corner man? Like that was the big deal. Like Beej offered to be his and he wouldn't let him. And they just had the match. And now later, sorry, you can't have the match unless you've got a corner man. And then William Regal's like, I volunteer to be young Brian's or Lexus, whatever his name is, corner man. And oh, finally now we can do it. Like I asked everybody and nobody would agree to be my corner man because they all hate me. There was no corner man in this one, but he didn't have a corner bucket. He didn't have a corner man, but somebody put a corner bucket in the corner, and the corner bucket, the cornet bucker, the
that sounded weirdly Irish.
The cornet bucker. The corner bucket had a set of brass knucks in it.
The corner bucket had brass knucks. The corner bucket had brass knucks.
The corner bucket had brass knucks. The corner bucket had brass knucks. Red leather, yellow leather. It also had in it a towel and a water bottle. So Alba and Isla must have been his actual corner women.
Obviously, yeah.
Because there was a towel and a water bottle in there with the brass knucks. Also, throughout the whole match, once he goes into his corner, he sees the brass knucks and is very conflicted about whether to use them.
Sorry, I had to.
No,
I need people to have the visual demonstration.
Yeah. There you go.
That's so weird that's Tatum Paxley. I'm sorry.
So it is so weird.
That so blows my mind.
Yeah, that's how the hell is that Tatum Paxley?
She was such a nice girl. I mean, she wasn't. She was a heel, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She wasn't a witch or creepy.
He keeps deciding whether or not he can betray himself by using the brass knuckles. He ends up not doing that. He does, however, do a blatant low blow, a donkey kick behind to Charlie Dempsey to secure the third and final pinfall. It was 1-1 in the fifth round, and he got his second pinfall. It was 1-0 Lexus King, then it was 1-1, and then the final one was a blatant low blow. And so I was like, well, I mean, my first choice was the Charlie Dempsey wins 2 falls to none, and we just move the hell on from all of this, and we do something else with him.
That part.
But at least we're turning him heel again.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank God.
You know what I mean? Like, they're going to turn him. It's not going to be like, I betrayed my one. I didn't want to do it, but I did it, and now I feel terrible about it. And please forgive me. Like, he's not going to do that crap, right?
No, I don't think so.
We're turning fully heel.
I think they know that he's better as a heel. Like, I understand the desire to have someone play both sides of the coin. But this guy just does not work as a face. And to your point, which I'd been saying for months, bro, you never exhibited behavior of becoming loose cannon ever at any point. If there was a point where it would have been, the reason it frustrates me is it would have been so compelling. The idea of someone resisting their family legacy at a company that's so insistent on family legacy, like the idea of him starting to lose it and then his face turn being, I'm not turning into my dad. And he proves it. He actually goes out there and wins matches honorably and whatever. And then it just starts to creep back in. And we get this really nice heel face back to heel trajectory that feels like a character arc of something that would be inevitable. Because while he resisted having his dad's name and all this stuff, there's a really great story in there that they were just like, what if instead he was weird to girls backstage and lectured Eddie Thorpe about his music and then suddenly said he was scared of turning into his dad. I don't remember any great like Brian Pillman promos that were like, turn it down. Your beep boops.
If Brian Pillman Sr. just hated like new wave 80s music, you know what I mean? You get your culture club out of here, man.
And it's
stop it with your Thompson twins. They're not even really twins.
I can't say we went off the rails this episode because I don't think we were ever really on them. But what if to Pillmanize someone? Pillmanize was the name of his band, and it didn't work out. And so he resented that music ever since.
No, I thought you were gonna say, what if to Pillmanize him is like you put his head right by one of those old giant like boom boxes that you carry around?
Hell yeah.
8 feet long, and then you put in like a Poison CD and you turn it all the way up, or not a CD but a cassette tape, and then you blast their eardrums with Poison.
Bro, what even is a compact disc? I don't even know what you're talking about yet, man. Oh my god, we're so much fun.
We are the best show. Anyway, yeah, I guess Charlie Dempsey's no longer a challenger for this thing anymore.
Yeah, I guess it's a jump.
They interview the Blurry Boys. Apparently, they're facing the Rascals in TNA. Are you blurrying?
I'm trying to get my camera to go out of focus because it always does it at inopportune times. Oh!
Anyway, they're facing the Rascals on Thursday. So the TNA partnership is happening on Thursday. So that'll be fun.
Yes. It's a more even partnership this time. It feels like more talent is being thrown over TNA's way.
Okay, good. So they're defending the NXT titles on an episode of TNA, which is that is more than they ever did here before, so that's good. Impact's live on Thursday, so cool. But
watch Joel and Cresta talk about it after you watch me and SP3 talk about ROH.
Do that, but also watch us talk about this right now. Briggs and Inamura come in and are like, hey, didn't we tell you guys we got next? You traipsing all over to TNA and defending the titles with the Rascals. That's not allowed. And then Inamura says, we told you that we were next. Why are you Dutching us? Did you notice that I
did, yeah.
That he saw ducking but read the K as an H and so said Dutching. But of course, if you're Dutching somebody, what you do is just tell them that you have a plan over and over again. That's if you're ducking someone, that means you don't want to fight them. But if
got a plan,
that's if you're Dutching someone, you just tell them that you have a plan over and over and over again, even if you don't have a plan.
That's a Red Dead Redemption 2 joke that I understand.
Yeah,
the one video game I know.
Yeah,
that isn't Donkey Kong or Super Mario.
There you go. But then here comes OTM. It's like, you guys started a fight with us last week, so we will continue the fight with us this week. So I think they're having a match next week.
It would seem that way, yeah.
On large event, Atlanta. Champion says Kate blurred too so fast she made my YouTube crash.
I'm sorry that I did that, but it's just the speed in which I move.
Oh, no, Dutch puns.
Come on.
Not duck puns. We're doing Dutch puns.
Okay. No, baby puns.
Yeah, baby puns. We're doing baby puns.
How come my camera goes out at inopportune? Oh, there we go. I got blurred.
Yes. Again, hold on. Somebody wrote it. Yeah, it's not actually spelled Pillmanize the way we think of it. It's actually spelled Pillmanize. Pillman Eyes, and then Electric Mayhem said, I heard Pillman Eyes open for Duran Duran once.
We are great at this.
We are the best at this. There's no one else who can do this. So, Ethan Page had a vignette or a
Binya.
It was a very good one. I liked it. Like I just keep thinking about the sound of your bones breaking, Dante. You wanted to stand on a moral higher ground, but now you can't stand at all. This is so much better
than Disney World.
Than his little day trip to Disney World, gone forever, long in the rearview mirror, and now he's in Dahmerland, and I am very, very happy about that. He doesn't have to eat people, certainly, but he's certainly a psychopath, and I really love it. The Dahmer glasses help a lot, but this is a really good promo about and he's like the same thing that happened to Cedric. Also, Javon, you must never want to talk again. Coming down and getting involved in the state that you were in, that was one punch. Look what one punch did to you. If you ever get involved in my business again, it won't just be one punch next time. I won't stop. It's everything that I wanted out of this is what I wanted from Ethan Page heel run here. He's doing phenomenal psychopath work here. This is a hard thing to pull off.
Listen, Ethan Page, you fashionable little creep. What is this? It's really good. It made me uncomfortable in a good way.
It's great.
He's excellent. This is so much more suited for the performer that he can be, because they don't have to give him baseline stuff. He's really good. They can take creative risks with him. He'll make things work. He'll give you what you need to make a character like this work. And I also like the consistency that's been told in matches about this. This is so much better from like the story they've been telling in the ring as well. So creepy little fashionable weirdo. What are we doing?
There we go. Instead of real eyes, realize. It's now Pillman's eyes, Pillman eyes, Pill's man eye.
I was like, when you said it the first time, I was like, this is definitely an away message that I had at one point on Instant Messenger.
So we got Javon Evans was watching this vignette. He's like, "Oh, Ava, come on, it's not going to be like that so soon. You gotta give me Ethan Page. I really need to fight Ethan Page. Come on, Ava." And Ava's like, "You're not cleared.
You're super not cleared.
Your jaw is currently wired shut. So I'm not giving you Ethan Page right now. But you're not clear. But you know who is? A guy with a broken hand from 2 weeks ago. And which also feels like just malpractice of some kind. And Cedric Alexander comes in with his hand still bandaged. So he's totally cleared.
Yeah.
And hey, man, don't worry about Ethan Page. I got it. I got it covered when it comes to Ethan Page. That was the thing he said. Don't worry about Ethan Page. I got it covered when it comes to Ethan Page, which isn't anyway. I don't know how you do though, Cedric. Like you had a match to like get revenge on Javon the first time.
Well, give him a second. Maybe he'll show us.
And you did it the first time. That you had the match the first time, and it did not end well for you whatsoever. And I feel like this is just inviting you to have your hand broken over again. But okay.
Well, maybe he has a plan like Dodge.
So we got I think you're talking about somebody else, because Luis says, "Hey man, Cedric wrestled the entire C2 in 2023 with the Brandage too. Cedric will be fine." I believe he means Brody. which is a very different thing. It was a cast and not a bandage, but yes. And Brody King is also Brody King, and Cedric is also Cedric. And I think there are two Cedrics for every Brody King in size.
A noticeable size disparity between the two.
And then A-Town Down Under come in, and I was like, why? And they were like, don't worry, we're going to host the Grayson Waller effect next week in Atlanta with our special guest, whoever wins this NXT Championship match. And I was like, I hope what it is, because it's also, Austin Theory from Atlanta. So I'm just hoping that that's the first thing that happens on the show, so that Austin Theory can run afoul of Oba Femi, who can then demand to defend the title against Austin Theory in the main event and then murder Austin Theory.
And then he puts Austin Theory out. And then they go and repackage him, which they should have done a year and a half ago.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm in.
Right? Sure.
I'm in.
Good.
And fun.
Luis says, "Look, man, it's 35 degrees where I'm at. I got cold, and that's why he messed up writing Cedric instead of Brody King."
Well, do better.
35 degrees is 38 degrees warmer than it is where I am.
Also, you're not moderating outdoors, are you? Put a heater on. Are you okay?
Do you need us to send you a space heater via Amazon? Because it'll be there tomorrow.
I will.
I'll do it.
We love you, Luis. Actually, if we just go way past the 2-hour mark, which we do sometimes, he'll get bonused enough that he can probably afford one on his own.
Oba Femi defeated Eddy Thorpe, which we all, I think, knew he would.
Sure.
But it was, here's the deal. Everyone's expecting me to have a rant about Oba Femi selling too much and why did this match last so long? I think, Eddy Thorpe, they mentioned this, he's 22-8 since coming to NXT. He's not a slouch. And he wasn't a slouch when he came here. He's not.
Correct, yeah. Carl Fredericks was an excellent.
Carl Fredericks was an excellent prospect in New Japan. He's a really good wrestler. And also, and again, I'm going to give credit to Oba for this, because it doesn't make sense that all the people who agent all the matches have agent all the matches. So when I see something brand new in an Oba Femi match, why would I expect they would give him a new thing instead of him coming up with something new himself? I've talked about this a lot. I'm going to chop you, but you're standing up against the ring post and you moved and I chopped the ring post. Now my hand hurts. I have never seen I'm going to crush your sternum with my giant bear paw while you're lying on the apron and you move and I smash my entire wrist down on the apron, which, as we all know, is the hardest part of the ring.
Of course.
The ring post isn't the hardest part of the ring. The apron is the hardest part of the ring. I've never seen that before. And he was selling the underside of his arm and wrist for the next 5 straight minutes. I've never seen anybody, I never thought about, I'm going to smash you, because I've seen him also do that to people laying there on the apron where he smashes them with his hand. And he moves, so he smashed that. And so then he's fighting against the pain of that while doing lariats and then having to sell the thing after doing a lariat. And Eddy Thorpe is great. And he's using technical maneuvers, trying to wear down Oba. I love at the very beginning, he's throwing everything he's got at Oba, and Oba kicks out at 1, and then just kneels there and lets Eddy Thorpe kick him in the chest because he's pissed at Eddy Thorpe. And then finally the match gets some air in it, and it actually, this is the reason I'm not angry at Oba should squash everybody. Eddy Thorpe's really good. I don't want to squash Eddy Thorpe, but also he's going to be having 28-minute main events in WrestleMania in 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, next year. I don't know.
In a few months,
The ceiling is
he's winning the Royal Rumble.
The ceiling is in the stratosphere for this guy. So if you're going to have him, he's going to need to sell. Even big men need to sell in WWE. So he's learning it, and he's great at it. You know what I mean? I'm watching him do stuff he's doing layered selling of you kicked me in the kneecap and my knee hurts and I'm pushing myself up on my bad wrist and that hurts too. he's a friggin' wunderkind.
Savant,
Like,
yeah.
I don't, man, he's so friggin' great. I mean,
I was excited for this match because I didn't know it would be this much of a fight, but I figured it wasn't going to be a squash for a few reasons. One, to your point, Eddie Thorpe he's won a lot of matches. Now, they don't always go by wins and losses, but they should. And the other thing is, I just looked it up. He's 6'2", is what he's listed at.
He's not
That's
small.
not a small dude. Like, so he should be able to bring the fight to him. And to your point earlier as well, like, what I loved about this story was this version of Eddie Thorpe so far, I feel like has been a lot about the game plan that Eddie Thorpe goes into matches with, right?
Yeah.
And how he gets those matches. He took himself out to sneakily get a main event match, right? Like things like that. So he should be coming in with a game plan that's clever, that at least works a little bit. Like if he got squashed, he would just look like an idiot because he's being cerebral with things. And I thought the use of his technical side to wear him down is one of the few game plans that you could have me buy into against Oba Femi. So I also really, really liked this match. I was just talking about this phenomenon on who was I talking about it with in ROH? I think it was ROH, but I had said whoever it was that I was talking about, I said Miro also has this thing where I feel like with bigger dudes sometimes, I might have been talking about Brody King, the ability to sell as a big man that you don't look unrealistic. Like I feel like big guys go either cartoonishly over the top because they don't know how to do it, or they no sell and it takes the sting out of the other side of things. The proportionate sell for a big guy, like Miro's one of the best at it when that guy is selling. And I feel like Oba Femi's picked that up quick, and it's not always the easiest thing to do. And an in-match injury sell, to be present with your fake injury the entire time is a lost art a lot of times, and he's really good at it.
The school of big man selling in WWE for many, many, many years, and it does continue now amongst several of them, is lazy grizzly bear bothered by a swarm of bees. No.
So many Braun Strowman matches you just described.
And it's mostly that, you know. But this was very, very good. I also, this guy does the best choke slam in wrestling, and he doesn't even use it as he uses it as like a 2 count.
He should use it as a finisher.
That should be an alternate finisher. Yeah. Like he got him so far up there, and just so, oh man, that the ring dented. Like that was great. But then I also love that his I do love that his setup is, I'm going to shot put you, then I'm going to pop you up and put you through the ring with the fall from grace powerbomb. And no one kicks out of that. Like that one's a top. Like it was. I thought he was the choke slam was so great. I thought that was his new alternate finisher. But I realized it was too early in the night for that to be the case because NXT has to go off the air after the CW has gone off the air. So after he pins Eddie Thorpe, he stands there looking up at Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, which again makes me think he's probably fighting one of them, almost certainly Austin Theory next week. But he turns around slowly to find that Trick Williams is in there. It's like, you want another shot? You want another? You want to try again or something like that? And Eddie Thorpe, who has smuggled into the ring while still half conscious, a leather strap and wrapped it around his arm, goes in to attack both of them, and Trick just takes one step and knocks out Eddie Thorpe with a slap, and then turns back to Oba. And I was like, at some point we have to be getting a strap match with Eddie Thorpe. It's just that now he I don't know why he would want to do a strap match at this point when the last 2 times he brought a strap in, it didn't really
go his way.
Yeah, so anyway, that was very funny.
That was very funny.
All right, baby puns. In honor of brand new Papa, Chris Pereira. All right. Lieutenant Photo 6 says 661Z9Z.
Very good.
Alba Pacifier. Raw on Bassa Netflix.
Very nice. Thank you, Netflix, for that pun.
Booger tea. Booger sucker tea. Like the thing that, like, because when the babies can't blow their nose, you have to, like, with the little thing. Yeah. And Dominic Diperkovic. Matthew Hook says Adam Cole, baby. Techno Infants.
Adam Cole, baby, of course. Well done.
Techno Infants 2000.
Thank you so much.
And Maternity JF. MJF says for maternity.
I like it.
Insert Clever Nixon Newell pun says Nixon newborn.
Very good.
Alpha Bill says Goo Goo Gunther and Dirty Diaper Mysterio. JW Pringle says oh no, this is not a pun. This is for where they're gonna do the big large event. Instead of saying large event, you would say Hellscape Armageddon, NXT parking lot.
Perfect. Ooh,
Yeah,
we should
right?
do a whole pun run on those one day.
Yeah. Meet Enormous says, Devon, get the changing table. Bam Bam Baby Bjorn.
Very, very good.
Penta El Cerro Lullabies. It's a newborn. Yes, it is. Horn Swaddle.
S tier.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
And the phenomenal onesie, AJ Childs. The Child's Clash. It is.
The Child's Clash.
And now I'm imagining doing a Child's Clash to a baby. C. Delgado says Ricky Storks.
Very good.
The Death Rattlers. The Infantry.
Oh, I love that.
Jess Ricardo says, no one's going to say it. Fine. Babyface. There you go.
Well done. Very well done.
Alpha Bill says Tama Toddler. And
these are really good tonight.
Of course, his future teammate, Tala Toddler.
Of course.
And then Onesie Zane.
Onesie Zane, of course, yeah.
Tom LaValle says, "Oh baby Femi." El Sucio Hijo de Eddy Guerrero.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Meet Norma says Nursery Ripley.
Touche.
Blanky. Not Biggie, but Blanky.
Special guest referee of the New Day and the Usos at WrestleMania this year. We're calling it.
Similac Machismo. Greg Cherry says, everybody diapers. Everybody diapers.
Very good.
Crawl Heyman. Hornswaddle. It's a newborn. Yes, it is. And Oshkosh Big Josh. And then says, plugging my Royal Raffle charity raffle, where we're raising money for sheets for the kids over on my YouTube channel. So go check out Greg Cherry's YouTube channel and be part of the raffle there to help the kids. Alpha Bill says Ovum Femi.
Very good.
Or just Ova Femi.
Ova, yeah, that works too.
The Electric Mayhem says Hornswaddle, a lot of Hornswaddles, and Abdullah the Butcher. You know what a doula is?
Oh,
like a midwife.
Well
Meet Normus says Ensure Formula Collective. Willie Similac, Pedialyte Heavyweight Champ, Big Papa Breast Pump, Frankie Caesarian.
Like a cesarean C-section.
Frankie Kazarian is Frankie Caesarian. Christening Cage.
Frankie Caesarian is so good.
And Christening Cage and Jacob Tooth Fairy.
That's very good, but I'm still so stuck on Frankie Caesarian.
It's almost perfect. Thank you, Meet Normus. Louisville says Pamper Shango.
Paper Shango's very good.
And Aqua 4 Horsemen. Aqua 4 Horsemen. Electric Mayhem says pack and play. And
Like pack. Very good.
Yeah. And Yuka Sleep Sakazaki.
Very good.
Meat Normus says whose crib? Swerve's crib.
Very good.
And Louisville says Enfa $1 million man. Enfa $1 million man. So Will Chisholm also piping in because he was a little late, but he's talking about I was laughing so hard at the faces Julia was making at Roxanne. I was like, she is so great in that in Stardom, and I'm glad she brought it here. Very true.
Yeah, very good stuff.
And then says that I love Stephanie Vaquera promo. She sounded like a killer. It's true.
She really did. I meant to mention Stephanie Vaquera. I have to get consistent at saying her name. I'm like Kevin Kelly levels of bad. Andrade El Lodalito Lao. Like he could not do it.
Andrade El Idolo.
She was great, and I love how she was like, Shotzi, I'm coming for you. But felon. Like she just like flipped a switch. That was really good.
And Seal Delgado says, not NXT, but I need that pretty deadly storyline that y'all booked last night to happen. Thank you, Netflix. Yes, thank you, Netflix. If you want to know more about that, go behind the paywall because
you're paywalling or booking now?
Girl. We're very late in the game here, so I booked a really fun thing for Deadly to do. So there you go. Luis Polito says Que Manito Bebe, which is a play of What a Cute Bebe. So there you go. Very good.
Well done.
Tom Mavelli says, happy we're doing baby puns today. I just became an uncle for the first time. Twin boys on the other side of the country. Uncle Tom full time now. Oh man, you got twin nephews. You got to be the best uncle ever, which means the uncle that your sister-in-law or sister, I'm not really sure which one, will hate.
Yes.
Because you have to be the one who gets
two
full of
drum
sugar.
sets for Christmas. Yeah, you got to be that guy. You got to be that guy. A foam pit for outside in the summer. Yeah, that's you. And
from Allie, but by Meat Normus, Placenta El Cerro Miedo.
I also adore this from Ellie. Wrestling has more than one twin family.
All right. We have several of these jukeboxes here, so no more.
We are cut off.
We're cut off. Oh my goodness. All right, you have just one.
I have one.
Go find yours. I'm going to start out with
mine.
Orion Ben wants Paul Popolowski to do RJ City's acceptance speech from the Fightful Awards. Okay. Hello, this is RJ City, and I am accepting the Fightful Award for Best Talent Media for the second year in a row, which means one of two things. Either my show got so much better, or the other talent media continued to get worse. Was Maven even nominated this year? I don't think so. Who was even in this category? Stevie Richards? Oh, this match sucks, and here's why. Then the thumbnail is always like that. What are we doing here? You know, I'm the person who brings the scoops, who brings a little integrity, unlike Fightful, unlike Sean Ross Sapp. Who's the guy who broke the story about Rock and Roll Express and the coffee table? It was me. Who's the guy who broke the story that Jim Ross has heat with Danny DeVito? It was me. And you know what I get? I get this little trophy for the second year in a row. I can't even tell where I were fucking first one I were is. This is a cumbersome. First of all, this blue satin can only be described as perverted. It makes me feel gross. It makes me feel like you're trying to do something to me. Not only that, but we have silicone gel packets. Is this award going to expire if I leave it out in the sun? Does it get moldy? Probably, because it's probably not real glass. Get it? All of this is not real, so the fact that I am getting an award for this is fucking with my mind. Thank you. What? Okay. All right. Jambeard wants Nya Girl to sing the Magic School Bus theme, the OG version.
The Magic School Bus theme. Sing along with the theme song, Ride on the Magic School Bus. Cruising down Main Street, you're relaxed and feeling so good. Next thing you know, you're seeing octopus in the neighborhood. Surfing on a sound, swinging through the stars. Take a left at your intestine. Take your second right past Mars on the Magic School Bus. Navigate a nostril. Climb on the Magic School Bus. Spank a plankton, too. Literally on our Magic School Bus. Raft of lava. On the Magic School Bus. Such a fine thing to do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. An honor to privilege.
Just Ricardo wants William Regal to sing the Bubble Guppies theme song. Bub bub bubble gup gup guppies. Bubble 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 guppy guppy guppy. Bubble bubble guppy guppy bubble guppies. I'm Molly, I'm Gil, I'm Gerby, I'm Dima, I'm Una, I'm Nonny, Bubble Puppy. Bub bub bubble gup gup guppies. Bubble 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 guppy guppy guppy. Bubble bubble guppy guppy. Bubble guppies. Bubble guppy sunshine. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Let's see. Thank you. Just Ricardo wants Darby to sing Puff the Magic Dragon.
Damn right. Thank you, Allie.
Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Malachi Black. Puff, the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Brody King. Together they would travel on a boat with billowed sail. Jackie kept a lookout, perched on Ruff's gigantic tail. Noble kings and princes would bow whene'er they came. Pirate ships would lower their flags when Puff roared out his name. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Buddy Matthews.
He lived by the sea.
Thank you. Okay, hold on. Jambeard wants Braun to sing Baby Shark.
Baby shark.
And I feel like that's just
Baby shark.
I know. That's just feels like that's
it's not lyrical genius.
Maybe Braun would be stepping on somebody's toes, so maybe it'll be a duet. Hold on. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark. Mommy shark, toot 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 toot. Mommy shark, toot 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 toot. Mommy shark, toot 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 toot. Mommy shark. That's all you get. That's all you get.
I mean, that's the whole song, so.
No, you guys got Grandma Shark, Grandpa Shark, Let's Go Play, Run Away, Hungry Sharks, Feed the Sharks. It's the end.
I have to call some BS. Sharks can't run away.
Swim Away. And honestly, it's Swim Away. I don't know why they changed it to Swim Away. So,
that's nonsense.
Yeah. Okay.
Allie says not to be dramatic, but Alex and his 10,000, 100,000 impressions saved her life.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Missed Axiom. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has been a minute, hasn't it? Okay. All right. So here we go. Hold on. Jambeard says, Dusty the Thing, I Love You by Bonnie the Dinosaur. Here we go. I love you, baby. You love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug, Daddy. And a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? I love you. You love me. We're the best friends like friends should be, Daddy. With a great big hug and a kiss from me to you, if you will. Won't you say you love me too?
Thank you, Dusty. That was beautiful. You said energetic today.
Well, you know what?
Do you get a full 8 hours there in wrestling heaven?
I did, but also I had coffee too late in the day, and so now I'm up. I'll be up all night because I had a cup of coffee at 4 p.m. and you know what that does to me.
I do. And literally was me yesterday. I was way up too early. I love it when you emphatically introduce our guests and when you say things like "thank you, yeah, girl." That's still an all-timer for me. So I appreciate your enthusiasm around these parts.
All right, well, here's Ricky Rainbow.
Okay.
So Jambi wants me to do the Paw Patrol theme song. Paw Patrol will be there on the double whenever there's a problem round Adventure Bay. Roger and his team of pups will come and save the day. Marshall, Rubble, Chase, Rocky, Zuma, Sky, yeah, they're on the way. Paw Patrol, whenever you're in trouble. Paw Patrol will be there on the double. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Ricky.
Tom LaValle wants Ricky Rainbow to sing Rio by Duran Duran, but instead of Rio, say Oba.
This is a new thing.
Moving on the floor now, babe. You're a bird of paradise. Cherry ice cream smile, I suppose, is very nice. With a step to your left and a flick to the right, you catch that mirror way out west. You know you're something special, and you look like you're the best. His name is Oba, and he dances on the sand, just like that Rio we twisting through a dusty land. And when he shines, he really shows you all he can. Oh, Oba, dance across the Rio Grande. You can't do that anymore. They put up a fence.
Yeah, I can't dance across the Rio Grande.
You can't do it. Maybe Oba could. He just run right through the fence. Fences are nothing to Oba.
No, nothing can stop Oba.
Orion Ben says Ricky Rainbow does the Harley Cameron acceptance speech for her Fightful Award. Hello, I am Ricky Rainbow, and I am here on behalf of Ricky Rainbow to accept the award for Fightful's funniest wrestler of the year. If Ricky was here, and in many ways he is, he would be touched. And he would be moved from being touched. So thank you, Fightful, for making Ricky Rainbow the funniest wrestler of the year. Is this what I am? A joke to you? You know I have other talents. I do ventriloquism. I forgot it in my car. Thank you again. Feel the wrath of Ricky Rainbow.
The wrath of Ricky Rainbow.
That's it. That's it. We'll do the other one later because you came in too late, just Ricardo. So we'll do that next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ali sees, of course, trans rights are human rights.
Look at the way your hair is done. Like you love everybody on the LGBTQ community.
Obviously. Yeah. So
that's ally hair.
Anybody who disagrees will feel the wrath of Ricky Rainbow.
What is the wrath of Ricky Rainbow? Mostly like LSD and some other stuff.
You never seen me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I don't want to see that.
No. So when that kind of wrath would be very difficult for them to feel. So
fair enough.
There we go. Now we've gone over time. So
we sure have.
I think we should say toodaloo.
Toodaloo. Stay warm, gabagools, right?
Stay warm, gabagoos. All of you out there where it's cold, don't keep cold, gabagoos.
Yeah.
Thank you.